Hello and welcome to Colourful in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. This week I'm hanging out with Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about the Montauk Project. I have been promising this for a while.
Which is fucking mental.
Yes, it is, quite frankly, it is mental. Give you a trigger warning straight up, listener, if you are offended by descriptions of basically child abuse.
And racial slurs. Not really, I just threw that in there. We don't use racial slurs.
No, we don't. But if you are offended by that, then...
Well known as the Bernard Manning of podcasts.
We were once described as Beavis and Butthead debating the existence of God as well.
Find me a better quote.
But if you are offended by such scenes, you might want to skip little parts of this. There is some a very dark side to the Montauk Project. So
There's also a cool computer.
there's a chair.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
And it's the influence for Stranger Things.
There you go.
It is. So, right, let's thank some new returning listeners, and then we'll get into the meat and the bones of it. She's at Miami in the US, Rochester in the UK, Ashburn in the US, Frankfurt am Main in Germany, Chicago, San Antonio and Council Bluffs in the US, Hastings in the UK, Falkenstein in Germany, Dublin in Ireland, Guadalajara, Spain and Phoenix in the US. Thank you very much. Tell a friend, follow us on Facebook, go into the ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, YouTube's Apocalypse Ball, SoundCloud, Spotify, other podcasting platforms. Cut into the ball in the PTA.
There you go. Well done.
I'm impressed with myself, to be honest. I remembered all that.
You're always impressed with yourself.
I am, you're right. The Montauk Project, secret experiments, time travel and governmental abuse.
You know, nothing major.
No. So we're going to uncover one of the most terrifying and controversial conspiracy theories of all time, the Montauk Project. Alleged government mind control experiments, time travel, interdimensional portals, child abductions and brutal abuse. These are just some of the claims surrounding the experiments that took place at Camp Hero, a military base in Montauk, New York.
That'd be awful, wouldn't it? If your kid getting abused at somewhere called Camp Hero.
Yeah.
These men are not heroes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dark, man.
It's the whole thing is dark.
Please put me in a portal.
You might just get lost in time, but it's still
Well,
preferable to
yeah.
what happens.
I'd be lost in time and being bummed by some fucking Nancy military doctor men, or whoever the abusers were.
I tracked down the very old Unexplained with Howard Hughes episode where Al Bierlich is being interviewed. And there's another one where Duncan Cameron or Preston Nichols is being interviewed.
He's the nonce, isn't he?
Yeah, he mentions dildo chairs and he can cure you your programming, but you have to be sexually excited. Yeah, and he has to touch you.
Couldn't you just cure it with talking therapy?
Apparently not.
Oh,
Not
dear.
according to Preston.
So
Don't
if
use them paddles that the Scientologists use.
Oh, to determine how many fucking, what is it?
Thetans.
Thetans you got in you.
No, Mike, they made him sit on a dildo chair.
That was to break them
And bum
mentally.
Jesus.
Bum the shit out of
To-
them.
Yeah. That was to break them mentally. That's what you got to do. You got to break them mentally.
So how do we get from a secret military base with space portals and all that
Yeah.
to bumming? Well, it's always bumming.
It is. That's what it boils down to, isn't it?
Fucking government, they're obsessed with bumming.
The elites, innit?
The elites, all they want to do is bum. It's just bum, bum, bum. They're mad for bumming. I don't understand. Just stop bumming. Just have some normal sex with some pretty ladies. Stop bumming people.
Let's have a wank, you have to. Fucking hell.
They're fucking mental. Fucking hell. I had a pound for every time an elite bummed somebody they shouldn't be bumming. Fucking hell. I'd have my own island.
One of the elites.
I'd have my own island.
Yeah, but you're allowed to be like just.
Be known as the bumming island.
No, it won't. It'll be absolutely zero bumming on this island. Vaginal.
You're allowed to just be Hulk Hogan memorabilia.
Yeah.
Transformers memorabilia.
Hot chicks.
Hot chicks.
Yeah. And pickup trucks.
And pictures of Robocop everywhere.
Yeah. The Wrexham flag up.
There you go. It'd be paradise. No bumming though. Everyone would be safe.
Everyone will be over age.
You know. Any sexual if there is bumming, it'll be consensual bumming that's non-ritualistic and non-abusive. There you
Seems
go.
fair, doesn't it?
And I won't
Good
be wearing
bumming.
any kind of
If you
good,
would.
good bumming. Like the classic Bee Gees album, isn't it? Good bumming. No one will be wearing a robe.
Oh.
Well, alright, if you have to. Anyway, let's get off my island and get back on track. We've gone down a little detour. Let's get back to Camp Hero.
Well, was this just Cold War paranoia mixed with science fiction? Or was the government really conducting horrific human experiments in an attempt to control minds, manipulate time, and alter reality itself?
With dildos.
It always boils down to a dildo.
Fuck me, how hard do you get bummed for reality itself to be altered?
Well, that's when they break your mind and they start reprogramming you with the stuff that'll make you understand this. The dildo chair's there to break you.
Oh, God.
Right, let's start at the beginning.
Right, to start the beginning, we have to go to the Philadelphia experiment.
We had an episode of that, didn't we?
Yes, you were here for that one, Gaz.
I know of it. Is it the time the disappearing ship?
The disappearing
And
ship.
then the
There's
men
a couple
coming
of films
back,
about it, wasn't there?
stuck in the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part man, part bulkhead.
You should get a career as an American footballer.
Fuck yeah.
The Montauk Project is believed to be a continuation of the Philadelphia experiment, a 1943 US Navy test that supposedly made the USS Eldridge disappear and reappear in another location. Some claim it was also accidentally sent through time. It accidentally sent sailors through time, causing some of them to be fused into the ship's structure, while others went insane from exposure to unknown forces. Bit of a doozy, innit? It's like, I just signed up to be in the Navy, why are you trying to send me through time?
Was the experiment considered a success?
No, it wasn't an experiment to get through time or anything, so they stumbled upon it. They were trying to make the ship invisible to radar.
Right.
And possibly invisible itself. Because then the U-boats can't see you. So if there's U-boats in the area...
Through time? What were they using?
They were using like Tesla coils and other strange, weird shit.
Fucking around with things they didn't understand.
Yeah.
And now, there's some poor, like you say, some poor low-class, working-class lad who signed up to be a sailor, floating through the fucking cosmos, not knowing what the fuck's going on for eternity now.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
It was very irresponsible of him.
He's probably run out of tobacco by now.
No, World War II servicemen never ran out of cigarettes. Everybody smoked, they never ran out of cigarettes. It was a
morale thing, wasn't it?
Cigarettes went before the food, mate.
So you've turned on all these weird things to try and make the ship invisible, but instead it's jumped through time and come back.
Yeah.
And now you've got men stuck in the walls.
Yeah, men gone insane.
The other one's missing.
2 men have jumped off into a time portal.
That wouldn't be nice, would it? A man stuck in the walls screaming his death rattle.
No, it wouldn't.
That'd stay with
Stuff
you.
a nightmare, isn't it?
You know, he's in from like the chest. He's the middle of his chest, or he's stuck in it. Like his hands are out and his legs are out, but the rest of his head's out and the rest of him's in it.
That's gonna
half in and out the deck would be the worst for me.
So they gave up on the trying to make the ships invisible after that. Then.
Well, because it had this unexpected event, researchers wanted to further explore time travel and mind control. The US government's already got a proven history of conducting secret experiments, including MK Ultra, a real-life CIA mind control program that ran from the 1950s to the 1970s, and we will do an MK Ultra episode at some point.
The American government were pretty evil back then, weren't they? So they've seen all these their own sailors go mental, and they thought to themselves, "Oh, well, it'd be good if we could do that on purpose, wouldn't it? We should look at this, turn this into a weapon." They didn't think, "Oh, let's never do this again."
Of course not.
They saw what it did to
Cold
sailors
War,
and thought, how can we use this to send people mental and do mind control? Because that's like basically MK Ultra as well, making people insane.
You have to remember the whole thing at the time was get there before the Russians. If we don't do it, the Russians will.
Yeah.
That's the mad justification for it all, isn't it? But yeah, it's just mad, isn't it? They saw. That's what they took from the Philadelphia experiment. Ooh, I think we can control people's minds here.
Yeah.
Look what's happened to these sailors, look. They're all bonkers now. Lol.
Yeah. It's evil. And MK Ultra's even more evil. You're giving people massive amounts of acid without them even knowing about it. And then you try to sit there and program their brains.
They convinced one of their own, like somebody who was actually employed by the CIA, an agent. They convinced him, they spiked him and convinced him to chuck himself out the hotel window.
Yeah.
And they thought they were justified in that. He's just a bloke working there.
He didn't even know he was being given the acid.
God, they were so evil.
They didn't even know, they weren't telling, they were just
Don't
putting
forget
stuff in their water.
The syphilis they gave to black man.
Well, the Tuskegee Airmen, is that it? That one.
Yep.
No, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment.
Yep.
I don't think I know about that one.
Oh yeah, they gave a load of black farmers syphilis and just so they could study the disease better.
They thought they were going there for treatment, and they weren't treating them. They were just monitoring what was going on. Yeah.
Evil.
Yep. Plus all the chemical and biological weapons that they've tested on their own people, subways and things.
Let's not forget atomic weapons as well. Yeah. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, they used to make the Brits had their guys. Well, everyone had their guys fly through mushroom clouds.
Well, we've naturally.
Well, they used to do it in Nevada, didn't they? They used to sit at the top of the hotels and watch it.
Yeah, you can see it from Vegas.
Well, we've naturally come onto what supporters of this theory sort of use the fact that there is so much documented evil experimentation on their own people done by the Americans that you could believe sort of that part of this conspiracy quite easily, can't you? That there's some secret horrible base where they're doing horrible things to people.
Fuck yeah. But then if you go for this, do you have to then go for the DUMBs or deep underground military bases?
Don't know.
I mean, oh God, what's his Phil Schneider who fought them aliens with a handgun?
Yeah,
do you have to start believing in that then at this point?
Well, I think we'd be mad if we didn't think there was some big secret underground. There's got to be somewhere the president can go and...
yeah, you've got the Colorado one where the NSA is Cheyenne Mountain where they hollowed out a mountain.
Or maybe there's giant alien bases,
And there's Raven Rock as well, which is the other big government bunker.
Are they beneath the seabed? The alien hideouts?
It would explain why so much UFO activity is around water, wouldn't it?
We wouldn't know, would we? We wouldn't be able to find it down there. Well, anyway, sorry.
MK Ultra. It's believed that MK Ultra and the Philadelphia experiment led to the creation of Project Montauk, an ultra-secret operation that allegedly used abducted children and unwilling test subjects to push the limits of science and human consciousness. So what were they up to? Mind control and psychological torture.
Oh, nice.
One of the most horrifying allegations is that the Montauk Project conducted extreme psychological experiments on human subjects, particularly young boys, who were abducted or taken from orphanage and foster homes to be used in experiments. So, that kid there, like his parents, they're both alcoholics. Snatch him. Just take him. He ran away.
Yeah.
His parents are alcoholics, he ran away, no one's going to question it.
Another one for the bumming chair.
Can we not refer to it as the bumming chair?
It's got a fucking deal that's designed to bum.
Sodomy chair.
That's better.
That's the official term, isn't it?
It's the bumming chair. Sorry.
Please no, we're not laughing at the kids who might have been put in this horrific situation. No. You got to try and find some comedy and things somewhere.
I'm just laughing at
the absurdity of it.
It's the absurdity of it. You're right. Yeah.
The word bumming.
Victims were subjected to high doses of hallucinogenic drugs, electroshock therapy, and extreme trauma, i.e. the dildo chair, the sodomy chair, to break their minds. Then once you've broken their minds, scientists allegedly use electromagnetic frequencies to reprogram thoughts and control actions. Some boys are forced to engage in violent acts against each other as part of their conditioning.
They're creating Manchurian candidates.
Basically, yeah. Creating mind-controlled assassins.
Or the Winter Soldier.
That's exactly what you're creating a Winter Soldier for the Marvel. Mike, do you get that reference? You don't watch much Marvel.
No.
You say a bunch of code words and it sets him off. He knows he's in assassin mode then, and you activate him.
Yeah. He's been highly trained, he's comfortable with all weapons.
But you've broke his mind.
Yeah. You're right, it's fucking evil, isn't it?
I think one of the worst things you can do to someone is give them hallucinogenic drugs that fuck your mind up, and then do horrible things to them. That's just beyond evil. So, because you're just, any evil they're experiencing is being heightened, and like, oh, it's awful. Well, it breaks their minds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bastards.
So they were training to be obedient mind controls, assassins and spies. These guys are known as the Montauk Boys. Now, I listened to an interview today as well on the Howard Hughes Unexplained podcast, R.I.P. Howard. It was an old episode. We did an episode with a guy called Stuart Surdlow.
Okay.
Who is a Montauk boy, but he claims a lot of things to Steve.
Yeah.
Claims a lot of things.
He's been in all the conspiracies, hasn't he?
He's been in all of them. He's the reptilians. He's the aliens. He's gone back in time. Here's my most favourite claim of his is that he went back in time to the crucifixion with the sole intent of stealing Jesus' blood,
right?
So he could then go back with a vial of Christ's DNA. They would clone another Jesus who would be used in a second coming style false flag.
Right. to
form everyone into a one world government.
Would it be easier to just find a bloke who looks because no one knows how would you clone Jesus, right?
Cloning Jesus.
How does anyone I've cloned Jesus? Oh no, he just looks like it could be any fucking long haired how does he prove
he's
he's
like a normal Palestinian boy?
Jewish boy, Mike.
How does he prove he's Jesus?
Well, okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah. But they were from that region, weren't they?
Yes, of course, yeah.
They would have looked like a Palestinian.
Would have looked like anyone that lived in that region. He's been dark-skinned, dark-eyed.
Again,
he might have had them abs that you see on the cross now and again.
How does he prove he's Jesus? Does he start doing tricks?
Can he walk on water?
Does divinity go across with cloning? The answer is no. Star Wars taught us that the Force does not go across, does it?
I don't know, because they clone Palpatine.
Yeah, but he's still got...
Plus Star Wars is fiction.
Yeah, well, so's this.
No, because
no, it's not. It might as well be, Mike.
Real, isn't it? Didn't he go back and... It didn't happen then, no.
Well, that's what he says. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that.
Why didn't he snatch Jesus?
Well, don't he take him down off the cross?
Wouldn't it be better?
Take him back with you.
Take him back with you.
Wouldn't it be better to milk Jesus?
I don't think.
While he's on the cross, and then instead of a vial of his blood, come back with a vial of his spunk. Is it not more logical? And then find a Mary in our own time, inseminate her with the spunk of Jesus.
Well, then turn no in because she's on MK Ultra.
And then we'll have... No, she can know.
No, because you want the virgin birth.
We wouldn't have Jesus, then we would have Jesus' son.
Yeah, but we'd have the grandson of God, wouldn't we? Surely that's better than some fucking clone prick version who's you can't even prove.
But is divinity stored in the balls or the blood?
We'll find out.
Water to wine, you cunt. You're shit.
We'll find out. So maybe, I don't know, you can either have to send back a flamboyantly gay agent or a female agent to do the milking. Both, because we don't know what Jesus was into. We don't know what...
Gaz, he's on the cross.
He's a man. He is a man. They didn't put a nail through his cock, Ben. He will still be up for a milking.
He's bleeding profusely.
He'll still be up for a milking. Trust me. He's a 30-something male. Do you know what I mean?
33.
33. He's in
You
his
should
prime.
know how old Jesus was, Gaz.
Being a hardcore Christian. He was in his prime. I'm just saying, it probably would have been easier to milk him than you think. I know he would have been in a lot of pain, but
his sides are ripping open.
His penis will be fine. I just think it's a better plan than getting his blood.
Oh.
Cloning him. It'd be easier just to spaff it up someone's fanny, wouldn't it?
Well, it depends whether divinity is stored in the balls or the blood.
There's only one way to find out. Get jacking.
Time travel!
We gotta go back, Marty. What is it? It's Jesus, Marty. You have to wank off Jesus.
Or take his blood, we'll find out.
This is heavy, Doc. Great Scott. Sorry.
Now, there was... The dildo chair wasn't the chair at the camp. There was the Montauk chair.
What's the
which was
Montauk chair?
telepathy and thought manipulation. A key device used in these experiments was the Montauk chair, supposedly built using reverse-engineered alien technology.
Wow.
Apparently, when they opened up these wormholes, they met aliens. We'll get to it in a bit, but basically... And the aliens had a technology exchange. So
they gave us a chair that fucks up little boys.
No, this is a different chair.
Right, what's
this? The one. This one's like Professor X's computer.
Yeah. Oh, like Cerebro. Okay.
Like Cerebro, he can enhanced psychic abilities, allowing test subjects to read minds, influence thoughts, and even create objects out of thin air.
Did they create the dildo chat, you know?
He may well have, I wouldn't. To be honest.
You could have created anything, you created that.
And I just keep creating page 3 models over and over again. They're just like, enough!
We've got 72 jet from Gladiators. Do you know she's a wife beater?
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, she's a lesbian wife beater.
Yeah.
I still would.
I'm not going to say no. I'll have the snoo.
She's quite a bit bigger than she used to be, but I'd still make her put the old costume on. No matter how tight and small it was and uncomfortable she was. She's at gunpoint, she's got no choice. Sorry. I thought I was in the chair. So this chair sounds... So you can either use it to predict what card you're holding up or manifest whatever I want.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a diverse little object,
Isn't it?
It's pretty handy, that, isn't it?
It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Duncan Cameron, who is also Preston Nichols, isn't it?
Is he the same person?
They're the same person.
Okay, that's confusing.
Yes. Right, basically...
Oh,
I don't want to go
claims
too much into this because it's confusing as shit.
You've just reminded me, yeah, go on.
But Duncan Cameron is Preston Nichols. Duncan Cameron was on the Eldridge, but when he jumped off the ship with Al Berlick, who was his brother Edward Cameron, they went forward in time, and he had this weird mind split thing where he was Preston Nichols, but also Duncan Cameron, but he only remembered living as Duncan, not Preston, until he went to Camp Hero and they started letting him into places. Like, hey, here's your ID, sir. You know, you can get into this. He finds he can get into these top secret ages. And then he sees his desk and it says Preston Nichols and there's a picture of him and he realises, holy shit, I've been living 2 lives.
I mean, this is one of the hardest parts to believe, to be honest.
Yeah, right. And then Al Berlick, as soon as the Philadelphia experiment... And he's a nonce. And as soon as the Philadelphia experiment comes out at the cinema, Al Berlick decides that he is Edward Cameron, who was also on the USS Eldridge, and he also went overboard. And he's just remembered by watching the film.
Right, that's funny.
he's remembered his past life on this thing.
So weird.
But he just comes down and he's like, yeah, I was on that ship too. I also fell overboard. I'm that guy's brother who's telling you all this. Now, Duncan Cameron and Preston Nichols has no choice really but to go along with it, does he? Because he's like, if he says, no, that guy's full of shit, this guy's willing to come on as some kind of collaborator. So you can get a few more books out of this. But I'd have done it if I was...
So it's just two psychos
feeding off each other's psychosis. Yeah. But, it's crazy. Because he's like, hey, Duncan,
brother.
Remember in 1941 when I lent you $5,000?
Yeah.
And he's like, he can go, yeah, I do. Yeah, that's right. I bought a house. You paid for my house. He's like, it's great. That's basically it in a nutshell. It's very complicated. And there's like other stories where they're jumping back through history to save the Philadelphia experiment and stop their past selves turning off the machines, but then it would just create a time paradox. Yeah. And the first book, the Montauk Adventures in Time, is his one. This is my genuine thing. This is what I'm going to tell you genuinely happened book. And then there was like 3 or 4 books after this where he admitted, I fictionalised a load of shit because it made I know it would sell books.
Well,
but the first one was real. Well, anyway,
who invented the dildo chair?
Probably Duncan Cameron, Preston Nichols. Yeah, probably him because he's a dunce. One of the key whistleblowers claimed he's one of the key whistleblowers. He is the whistleblower. Claimed that he could remotely influence people's thoughts and even open portals to other dimensions while using the chair. And he was the most powerful psychic. He's the one that was in the chair the most.
Right. Of course, he is the most powerful.
He
didn't see the police coming when he was arrested for noncery, though, did he?
Some reports claim that this technology was later adapted for mass media advertising and even political propaganda to influence the public subconsciously. Now, Camp Hero has this massive 90-foot tall radar tower with a big dish.
Right.
And people say that even though the camp has been down for years, they've seen that dish moving.
Right.
And a lot of people in the area claim that they are afflicted by headaches and sort of things like that, ill health. So was this the perfect place for some kind of mass mind control? Because you can just turn that radar dish about. Yeah, we're looking for the Reds, but we're really not.
It's a pretty cool idea, isn't it? Well, it's not cool for the people living there, but...
Oh, God, no.
You can see why Stranger Things became a thing.
What did we say off air that it was Stranger Things was going to be called Montauk, wasn't it?
So, if you're a local, what are they getting you to do, though? They're getting you to...
No, they're probably getting you to vote Democrat.
Bum each other? Yeah, but I wonder what they're getting people to do.
Maybe they just start seeing, well, one of the theories is, like, if you can project a beam into someone's head, right, that makes them a fucking schizophrenic, if you can do that to an enemy army that's coming at you, if you can project this thing at them that makes them, like, all schizophrenic, and start freaking out and having visions of maybe going violent, maybe carrying in the corner, start shooting your own men. It could backfire.
And they just turn into the most unstoppable, raging, psychotic force you've ever seen.
But not everyone will they? Because everyone's mind is different.
I've seen they do copious testing before that.
What's that then?
Well, to make sure that it doesn't do that.
Oh, sorry, I thought...
test it in the...
I understand what you said now.
Probably on their own troops.
I thought decopious was a word. Do copious testing. Right. I was being thick. Sorry. Yeah. Well, they wanted a gaydar as well, didn't they?
They did.
Not to detect gay people, but to make gay people.
Yep. The love bomb, wasn't it?
Gay bum. That's it.
Yeah. My favourite's still the bat bomb.
The bat bomb. Is that to attract a load of bats?
No, they had a bomb filled with hibernating bats. Actually, they weren't hibernating, they were live bats.
Right.
And they had a little incendiary charge attached to them, so it would start a fire.
Wow.
And they would drop this over Japan, where all the buildings are paper and wood. And the bats would find somewhere to roost at night. Within 24 hours, you drop it in the morning. All these bats fly about, they find random buildings to roost in for the night. And then these incendiary charges go off, causing massive fires.
And killing the bats.
Wow.
Wow.
And they spent millions on that.
I bet Peter weren't very pleased.
I bet they weren't. But, no, they can fuck off anyway.
It's quite evilly ingenious, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Totally ingenious, but still...
Why don't they just fly over and flick out cigarette butts?
You might as well have done that, to be fair. Same thing, really.
You didn't have to kill any bats.
Or drop firebombs.
Or just drop firebombs,
You know.
which they did, yeah. But yeah, this was the bat bomb idea. They spent millions on loads of shit, loads of weird shit that's never come anywhere close to being deployed. And they spent loads of stuff on stuff that's not fit to be deployed.
Unfortunately for these kids, though, the fucking dildo chair was employed, wasn't it?
Certainly was. The next one, what they did is time travel and interdimensional portals.
Oh, God.
There was an outrageous claim at the Montauk Project is that it successfully developed time travel technology. Using the Montauk chair, scientists allegedly opened time portals, sending test subjects into different historical periods. Apparently they went back to the Egyptian times. One kid, Stuart, what's his face? How you say his name earlier? The Montauk boy we were on about.
Oh, fucking hell.
Sedlow.
I can't remember.
He said he was sent, obviously not going back to see Christ, but also sent into the future.
Oh, yeah, the one out to wank off Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sent him time to 6037, where he saw a deserted city dominated by a giant stone monument of a horse rearing up.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we've digressed then, isn't it?
We worship the
Year
horse.
6000 and it's
Oh,
back to giant stone monuments.
Well, what's wrong with a monument? I like a good monument.
Well, all cars have gone. We've got no diesel, so we're back to relying on horses and horsepower.
Yeah.
So we worship the horse. Possibly.
Well, it was deserted anyway, so we might become extinct by that
Well,
point.
we're all fucked, yeah. Or we're all hiding because smelly past man turned up.
Smelly past man.
Yeah. Smelly back from the past man.
Others were supposedly sent to ancient Egypt and other distant areas.
Eras.
So yeah, go back to see Jesus. Go back to. I want to see. Look, build these. You don't want them squares, mate. You want them pyramids. I know a square would be easier, but pyramid. That's the way to go.
I'd go back to the grassy knoll and shout duck.
Yeah.
Voice with the dwarf.
Some never returned, while others came back physically altered, missing limbs or suffering from insanity.
Jesus.
You know, like the film Doom, where the guy in the wheelchair, like you saw how he lost his legs, like
Oh, I don't think I've
the
seen
portal
Doom.
closed. You've never seen Doom?
No,
with The
I
Rock.
haven't. No, it's one of the few rock films.
Decent
I've
film,
never
actually.
Yeah, Doom's great.
I might watch
good.
that.
It's a standard.
weekend.
It's a standard action movie.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. Yeah, never really played the game much, you see, so.
Yeah.
But I know what Doom is, though. But anyway,
Anyway,
sorry.
he loses his legs by like a portal closes up on him when he's halfway through.
That's the problem with portals. I've
It's
seen it
an
happen.
issue, isn't it?
Seen it happen, mate.
What about the? Have you?
Yeah, well, in films,
Are you
comics, happens all the time. Portals are dangerous things.
They are.
Yeah, they're always closing.
It's a bastard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think he could do him like Doctor Strange, where he'd swirl his hands around him while he's in the chair?
My experience of portals is they're always closing at the wrong moment, and then somebody's on the other side going, "No, we've got to get the portal open."
Them unlocked doors, your time locked doors, things like that.
Yeah, always an issue. Portals, stay away from them.
Don't go through them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Montauk Monster, have you heard of that?
Yes, this is a wonderful bit of the story, Michael. I like
Yeah.
this.
In 2008, a bizarre creature washed up on the shores of Montauk, leading some to believe it was one of the failed genetic experiments from Camp Hero. Allegedly, scientists at Montauk were conducting DNA splicing experiments mixing human and animal genes, and some believe they were attempting to create super soldiers with enhanced physical and mental abilities. But this is more of a dog.
I
What's this
also,
creature? Yeah, look.
I also heard that it may have came from somebody imagined it in that chair thing and made it, manifested it,
Well, yeah.
and it escaped.
Plum Island is another place next to Montauk. Plum Island. It literally is the centre
Bollock
for
Island.
the centre for disease and animal control. They do like any diseases that are out there get tested on Plum Island.
So it could have been like a really monged up raccoon or something.
Could have been.
Right.
But they said it was the size of a large dog. That'd be a big raccoon.
Could have been all fucked up from the water.
Bloated. Could have been bloated.
What did they do? Just it's like a failed experiment. They just chucked it in the sea, or what?
Oh, I don't know. It could have been
somehow.
some monged up dog that escaped, fell in the sea. But did anyone take this Montauk monster and do DNA testing on it rather than just poke it with sticks and go, eh?
They did not know. They just called the police and they had it removed
fire
and
to
it vanished off into a furnace, I'd imagine.
Did it?
Well, I'd imagine so.
Or did it go back to this place?
Or did it go back to this Montauk or Plum Island?
Oh, you let one of your fucking monsters escape, dickheads.
Yeah.
Plum Island's mentioned in Silence of the Lambs as well.
Oh, is it?
It's where they offer Lecter, like part of his deal, tell us who Buffalo Bill is. You get like 2 weeks a year at Plum Island, and he's like, oh, the Centre for Animal Disease Control. Sounds delightful.
Why would they think they'd want that?
Because he could walk on the beach with supervision, and he could have a window, and he could see the world again a little. At least this Plum Island.
He could eat some animals.
He could eat some animals. He could maybe eat a
Some
person.
dogmen.
Some diseased animals.
Yeah.
Could eat some dogmen, yeah.
With a nice Chianti.
My favourite thriller, though, is.
It's very good, yeah.
Others claim the project worked on cloning, rapid aging, and even human-alien hybridization experiments.
Fucking hell.
The works, innit?
It is the works. This has got everything.
Oh, God. See, I'd like to imagine that human-alien splicing experiments are as simple as, Gaz, will you bend over this sexy female alien and, get there?
Have intercourse with her.
Yeah, but, you got to get there, if you know what I mean.
You've got to give her
To completion.
pregnant sex.
Yes, Sergeant, I can.
Oh,
Well, it's probably not going to be
We're going to
that
bring her to our most decorated cummer.
It's not
A row of medals. Your uniform is just medals.
Sergeant Come Man.
So you admit it?
No, but what it's probably going to be, it's not going to be sexy times, is it? It's going to be, you're going to wake up on a bed and be like, oh, my arm feels weird, and look, and they've just grafted some fucking dead alien's arm onto your side, and you don't have a human arm anymore, and it's just searing pain and agony and body horror. That's what it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not going to be, can you do this alien doggy fashion, is it? No.
General Vincent, we need you.
Yeah. What do you want? We're going to cut your arm off, replace it with an alien. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, they're going to cut your penis off and give you a superior alien penis.
Human women aren't going to want that then. I'll be after. Nah, I don't want that.
It's ribbed for pleasure.
Nah, I don't want that. If I'm banging an alien, I'm doing it with my good old fashioned earthly penis.
It doesn't flash bright green.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's luminous.
spunk acid.
It would have acid spunk.
luminous green acid spunk. Yes, it would.
It's just a more efficient human penis.
I bet you aliens have acidic spunk.
This wouldn't work.
It works on each other. It just won't work on humans. For a reason, they know we'll try and fuck them. Anyway.
Oh, fair enough.
Sorry, there's been a lot of shagging in this episode. Probably shouldn't have been, with considering the subject matter, but you brought Jesus' dong into it, not me.
Well, also, they think there was alien contact and secret agreements made. Another controversial theory suggests that the US government made contact with extraterrestrials through the Montauk Project, so making wormholes, like that episode, like the episode of Red Dwarf, where there's the time tunnels,
Yeah.
and then we get Kachansky back.
They were up to everything here, weren't they?
Yeah.
In one room, it's breaking people and bumming them and giving them drugs. The other room, it's aliens and
Yeah.
it's portals and the time travel department. Fucking hell. Imagine being the cleaner there.
And some whistleblowers claim that aliens provided advanced technology in exchange for permission to experiment on human subjects. So you might be getting abused by aliens in another room.
Fuck me, imagine being one of them poor kids. Like, you think it's over, you finally, the abuse has stopped, and then a fucking alien starts on you. You're like, this, what did I do? Take me back to the orphanage, man.
Yeah. I wish I was back on my alcoholic
Yeah,
parents.
Jesus, I'm sorry. I wish I was being beat by my dad again. It was better than this. There was
Yeah.
no bumming.
Yes. Others believe that interdimensional beings came through the portals created by the Montauk Project, and some were created by the Montauk Chair, and some were hostile. There are reports that certain Montauk boys were taken into alternate dimensions and never seen again.
Oh dear.
So you're bringing through hostile interdimensional beings, your boys are being, everything's settled down for the evening. Next thing you know, portal, they're snatching your Montauk boys. Whatever
Pedophiles from alternate dimensions.
Interdimensional pedos.
You're being bummed in another dimension.
Oh, jeez.
Interdimensional nonces.
Oh, God.
Noncing their way through the multiverse. An infinite number of victims and an infinite number of realities.
Oh, God.
The ultimate evil.
They all look like Jimmy Savile.
Oh, God. The ultimate evil force. Now then.
The Saviles, it's a race.
From the planet Savile.
Oh, shit.
Just imagine 100,000 Saviles saying jingle, jangle. In
Hypnotises
unison.
you into being abused. Horrible.
You know that's a planet you do not want to land on.
No.
I hate the multiverse.
Yeah.
Surely there's a planet full of women who exclusively want me. Why couldn't I be on that one?
No. You're off the planet Savile.
Chased by 1 million Saviles.
Like 6 or 7 billion of them.
Through a golden city full of weird shit that he liked. Oh God, what a nightmare. Oh, I think that's the worst scenario we've come up with on this show.
I think it is. I really do. So, the catastrophe, how it all fell apart. The Montauk Project allegedly ended in August 1983 after an experiment went catastrophically wrong. Duncan Cameron, as the project lead psychic, was ordered to manifest something horrifying using the Montauk Chair. He supposedly summoned a massive, shadowy beast that materialised in the facility. I've heard anything from between 9 to 20 feet tall. Some kind of shadow Bigfoot entity with claws, razor
Demogorgon,
claws.
isn't it?
Why didn't he think of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Yeah.
I tried to think of something.
But Duncan Cameron and Edward Cameron, Al Bailick, are like, oh, we did this to end it.
Right.
I gave him a code word, a code phrase, and he summoned this. We wanted to not destroy the project because it was evil.
Yeah, you were the evil one?
Yeah, you were the evil one. You were doing this for years. Now you're having a crisis of conscience.
Yeah.
The entity went on a rampage, killing personnel, destroying equipment, and causing chaos. In a panic, scientists shut down the power, collapsing the experiment and trapping the creature in another dimension. It's handy.
Trapped in another dimension.
After this disaster, the entire project was shut down and the facility was abandoned, and the surviving Montauk boys were either brainwashed or eliminated.
Well, yeah,
Or released back into society with programming. There's talk... Oh, sorry guys, I'm just going to finish this.
No, go on.
There's talk of the Columbine shooters being former Montauk boys. Oklahoma City bomber being a former Montauk boy. Programmed into doing something, code words.
I wonder if Papa Shango.
Do you think he was involved in the Montauk Project, Papa Shango?
Because he was pretty fucked in the end, wasn't he?
He had a great fucking top hat.
He had powers and he did weird things to people. Made the Ultimate Warrior puke up and black shit run down his head. That was horrible. It's just a thought, anyway.
Well,
All these other people went there.
he might have been involved.
Maybe.
else was
Maybe
he?
he was from another dimension.
He might have been.
Who else was he?
He was the Godfather
That's right.
with his hoe train.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to bleep that when they show those clips. Can you imagine, Mike? It was
The
allowed
hoe train.
in the 2000s. There was 90s and the 2000s. There was a wrestler called the Godfather who was a pimp. He was a pimp, and he used to walk to the ring with his hoe train,
No way.
which was a group of girls
Fucking hell.
walking in a line, and they'd say "Hoe train," and the people in the crowd would have signs that said "Hoe train."
Kids.
Kids.
Oh, fuck.
Hoe train. Yeah, he'd get in the ring and dance with his girls,
Yeah.
dressed as a pimp.
You know.
Good old days.
Oh, you wouldn't get that anymore.
It's gone soft now. Only joking. But yeah, so the monster. What I was going to say is, if you can control portals,
Yeah.
and you're being attacked by a monster, that's a good way of getting rid of them, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, if you could control portals, anybody I didn't like could be getting kicked through portals. Off you fuck. Through the multiverse. You just sneak up on them, open a portal up the other side, kick them through, job done, close it. So yeah, that's what they did with the monster. It'd be good if they shot it and we could have studied it, because what was it made of if it's been manifested with its mind?
I said it was shadowy.
Shadowy,
like the upside down, isn't it?
So it could
The
be
smoke
made of
monster.
antimatter.
Yeah, smoke monster.
Smoke monster.
Could have been that.
I mean, obviously, the most disturbing allegations involve severe abuse and human rights violations. No shit, Sherlock. Child abductions. Obviously, many sources claim that thousands of children were taken and experimented there, or buried underneath if they didn't make it.
Like an Irish Catholic
Orphanage.
orphanage. Yeah.
Yeah, psychological and physical torture. Subjects were subjected to isolation, sleep deprivation, electroshock, and forced drug use. And then obviously sexual abuse. Because some fucker's always got to do it. Wherever you go, some fucker's going to be nonsense. But it aided in the psychological breaking process is how it was described by Mr. Preston Nichols. And he will deprogram you. If you're a former Montauk boy,
I think if he's being
he'll
honest,
deprogram you, but you have to be sexually aroused and he has to touch you and he'll charge you for the experience.
Hell.
if he's being honest, it aids his psychological functions if you're aroused.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Sicko.
what a fucking con. I can cure you,
Yeah.
but you must be aroused.
And as for the Montauk boy, that's Steve, he will offer to deprogram you as well. I don't know if he
Mr.
involves
Preston,
sexual...
I didn't realise curing me meant wanking me off. Well, it does.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's basically what he was doing to people.
Yeah.
Dirty. Years after they've already been victims, he's victimising them again. Evil bastard.
Now, obviously, despite the horrifying nature of these allegations, no official records of the Montauk Project exist, leaving many to believe that any evidence was either destroyed or remains classified.
Well, the entire thing is made up.
Yeah. Some bloke's weird nonce fantasy.
But then who are these kids that come into him and getting aroused?
People are very suggestible, aren't they?
Yeah. I think you were at the I think you were a victim. They wiped your mind.
Yeah.
They wiped your memory.
Now, the fate of the Montauk boys remains one of the biggest mysteries. Some were allegedly brainwashed and placed back into society with erased memories. Others died during experiments, their bodies disposed of in underground tunnels. A few claimed to have recovered memories in later life, with some becoming whistleblowers. Some believed a few survivors were recruited into secret government programs and are still active today.
Well, I think there might be some truth to the existence of that, the machine that you can manifest things. Right, you can manifest horrible little monsters, because how else would you explain the existence of Greta Thunberg? Come on!
Well, she's gone very quiet recently, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Do you think she's partying?
I think she's been shot in the head.
And cloned?
I'm like, no, I don't know. Yeah, she's probably into cocaine and pills now.
Yeah, possibly.
And orgies.
Well, so could the Montauk Project have been real? Well, while certain aspects of the Montauk story seem unbelievable, there are real-world government projects that bear striking similarities. Obviously, MK Ultra from the 50s to the 70s, a confirmed CIA mind control program using drugs, hypnosis, and psychological torture.
Yep.
There's Project Stargate from 1978 to 1995. You had an episode on it.
Yep.
A real US military program that research psychic abilities and remote viewing.
And I believe that's still going on.
Probably, well, it's, if you believe Louis Elizondo, it still is.
Yeah.
And Operation Paperclip from 45 to the 1970s, a documented US program that brought Nazi scientists to work on classified projects. And let's face it, they're up to some weird shit, weren't they?
Oh, did they let them have their own little lab to play out their little Nazi?
Yeah, I think
get it out of the system.
Yeah, I think this might be a case of that.
Imagine. If not, there's a good story in that.
Well, this is what Preston Nichols says. So.
Nazis got to Nazi.
So, Montauk Project is one of those sort of horrifying conspiracies of all time, isn't it? In a way.
Well,
there's an abuse on an industrial scale going on.
The bumming chair's not very nice.
No.
And it's fucked up. What if it's true and the only way to open the time portal is to break a human psychically with drugs and bumming?
Yep.
And somehow you use their brain waves or whatever to open this portal.
Well,
that's unfortunate, isn't it?
They used to use them to power Duncan Cameron, who was in the chair, because he was the most powerful psychic.
Duncan Cameron, the Conservative politician?
No, so Preston Nichols, sorry.
Who am I thinking of? Ian Duncan Smith?
You're thinking of Duncan Smith. But he was the most powerful psychic.
Right.
So he's actually using them as batteries in a way.
Okay.
Once they've been broken, their psychic energy's been unlocked. They're like linked to him, and he's like, this is how he's doing wormholes and shit, because he's draining their essence.
So in the future,
they're like batteries for him.
So in the future, or even now, when the elites want to open up a time hole and go on a little shooting trip to the dinosaur times or something, there's going to be like a whole load of street kids that have been kidnapped and psychically bummed.
Yeah.
Into
to power a bigger psychic. Exactly.
And the elites will think nothing of it, Mike.
Yeah.
Of course they won't.
Those fucking
as they're
elites.
boarding the time machine.
Yeah. I want to get me a Rex.
They've got to step over all the broken little battery bum boys. And, yeah, they won't care. Hey, well, you can't make an omelette without cracking a few eggs. Off we go to shoot a pterodactyl. Bastards.
Well, if true, it would mean the government conducted unthinkable human experiments, time travel and mind control programs. And if it's false, it's still a disturbing reflection of real government secrecy and unethical scientific experimentation, which has gone on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Where do you stand on all this?
Oh, mate, I think the witnesses here, your Preston Nichols, your Al Bielix, the Cameron brothers.
I thought they were the same people.
They are the same people.
They're so confusing.
Yeah, they are the same people. They're fuck knows what's wrong with them. They're two people who are mentally ill. One's presumably a paedophile. And, you know, he admitted that the later books were fictionalised. With the first one he says is real. I don't know. Can I believe the US was doing this kind of shit in the height of the Cold War paranoia, with all the Nazi scientists rocking around and a nearly unlimited black budget? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can, yeah. The Project Stargate, MK Ultra, that was real. And them are the ones they've released. What haven't they released? Because you know there's always a darker side.
Yeah.
Whenever you put someone in a white coat and saying, I'm a scientist, this is for the good of the humanity, but it's really going to fuck you up.
Well, but the only thing is, I think if there was a machine where you could put it on your head and manifest your thoughts, wouldn't there be loads of really weird shit wandering around? Like,
of course there would.
Do you know what I mean? Like giants that could have never been captured.
Cryptids.
You know.
Maybe it's
well,
where
you could
cryptids
imagine.
come from.
Surely someone would imagine something bigger than fucking, like a
Dogman.
You know, something giant, like fucking 1,000 times bigger than Godzilla. You know, they look like the Cookie Monster. People's imaginations are unlimited. You know, there'd be some mental weird shit, unmissable.
Remember, most of the time, he's like they're telling him what to visualise in the chair.
Oh, I suppose.
But this one time, we're going to bring you down now. This has gone too far.
I'm going to imagine a shadow monster.
Shadow monster it is.
I'd have imagined a human cyborg giant tank monster machine or
I
something.
wouldn't have to think.
If I were to knock the place down, I'm saying, I would have thought something better than the fucking shadow monster. I'd have been like, give me Unicron.
I don't think I'd want everybody dead, though. That's it's like most of those.
Well, after like several years in the bumming chair, I'm getting that fucking head thing on, and I'm saying, bring me Unicron, eat the planet. Because I don't want to live after being in the bumming chair for 2 years.
Or longer.
Those poor lads.
Being sent back through time and...
God, brought back again for more bumming. So it just goes on longer.
You could also throw in the secret space program into this, because they claim that the Cameron brothers, old Preston, they claim there's a secret space program where the US and Russia work together, and we've had a base on the moon since 1957, and we've got one on Mars.
Oh, that I believe.
Yes, you have literally, and this is what I've always said, guys, we need to write a conspiracy theory that's just a smorgasbord of everything.
That's what I think this is.
That's what I think this is. But on the serious side, final thought, if you're asking me, did they even consider doing shit like this? My answer is probably 100%. They fucking did. They at least considered it.
Yeah. It's a bit like MK Ultra, isn't it? The breaking people's brains and, kidnapping people to experiment on. Well, that's believable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when you get into the alien computer chairs
the
and
time travel.
Yeah.
A bit.
The dildo
It's a bit hard to swallow that, isn't it?
And there's no proof whatsoever. And there's just one fella saying it and some other knobbing who's latched on.
Watched the Philadelphia experiment in the cinema and thought, I remember that. I'm his brother. I also jumped over the ship, overboard with him. And he has he's backing you up.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like, hello, brother.
Plus it flies in, it contravenes sort of the way that Elizondo and all that are on about psychics. You don't have to abuse them to bring out their psychic abilities.
Well, maybe that's the refinement of that now, is that you haven't got to do this anymore because they figured out how to do it without it. But sadly, they had to do years of doing this to figure out how to do it without it.
So for years they were like bumming kids, and then someone went, do we actually need to bum the kids?
Yes! I mean, well, this is the more satanic version of that, isn't it? Well, this is just people, powerful men for some reason love bumming, like I said earlier, and there was just one big excuse probably to keep the bumming going. It was like Epstein's Island, but in a laboratory.
It is weird that even though the US government says, there's nothing underground there, it's just this radar base, that some dude who broke in took like one of those guys who does the LiDAR stuff with him, and this is there's like massive concrete structures underneath, like 20 foot down, that we can pick up.
Full of dead people, maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well,
were you, Gaz, your final thoughts? Or?
I don't know. I think it might be bollocks, but it might be half true and half bollocks.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's just the whole thing. I'm sure Mike will probably agree with this. You can believe them trying to do this shit.
Yeah, that bit. But I don't think they succeeded.
I think Eisenhower had already met the aliens in 1950. So.
Do you think an alien dog thing washed up on the shore?
I think it's like something blows it into cave.
Yeah.
Could have been a badger. No, I look, it's too much. And it's just one nonce saying it. Who invented a chair with a big dildo in the middle.
Oh, you haven't seen It's Always Sunny, have you?
No.
Where Mac, his exercise bike, shoots a dildo out the seat. You're like, so when you go for, you stand up, pedal, it's harder. This thing punches you in the ass to keep you going. And they're like, just come out the closet, Mac. We know what this is. You've built a dildo machine.
Well, oh God.
I hope it's not true anyway, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm still 50-50 with it.
50-50?
Yeah, because they did do... I'm not saying at the time...
Shadow monsters.
My
alien chairs.
The 50% I don't believe is the alien chairs and the time portals and all that. The bit I do believe is they gave a load of people drugs, broke their minds, sexually abused them, and tried to make them into the perfect shadow assassin. Because it just wouldn't fucking surprise me with the CIA and the US government having a massive black budget allowance and trying to get one up on the Ruskies.
How about the bloke who walked into an office one day and realised he used to be somebody else?
Yeah! Yeah, I did, yeah. Shit.
No,
He's full of bollocks, he's full of shit. Alright, but if you ask me, did they do this kind of stuff? Well, and they did, they broke people's minds with drugs.
Well, it's been fun to talk about.
So yeah, that's my final thought on it. They probably did fucking try it in some aspect, but maybe not the alien chairs, and they probably definitely tried to do mental psychic shit with the use of drugs and possibly sexual abuse.
Well, there we go. What a lovely note to end on.
Yeah! I mean, no! Well, either way, right, I've been Ben, thank you very much for listening. Don't do it bravery, don't join a cult.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, may the force be with you.
I've been Gaz, Free Biff Tannen, goodbye.